Hello there everybody, my name is ElusiveGhost and welcome to a game called Against the Storm. It is a city builder cross roguelike, which I'm very interested to see how that mix works because I like both those genres. And it is available on Steam in early access. And just to read a bit from the Steam text so you got an idea of what it is, it says that a city builder where you must rebuild civilization in the face of apocalyptic rains. As the Queen's Viceroy, lead humans, beavers, lizards, and harpies to reclaim the wilderness and secure a future for the civilization's last survivors. So it sounds good to me, and I think we're going to jump in straight away and see what we've got. I do like the artwork of it.
The world is plagued by the blight storm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. The only safe haven is the smoldering city, where the mysterious scorched queen reigns. You are one of her viceroys, a pioneer sent into the wilds, tasked with establishing new settlements and acquiring valuable resources for the crown. Your goal is to help rebuild the smoldering city and secure the future of the queen's subjects.
Perfect. So use WSAD, yep, or the mouse to move the camera, perfect. Neglecting your village will increase the Queen's impatience and bring her wrath upon you. Okay. Fulfilling your duties will increase the town's reputation, unlock new buildings, and eventually bring you to victory. Now pick a new blueprint. So, from my basic understanding of the game, it's essentially the way that you can potentially lose is if the Queen's impatient reaches maximum. You'll lose and you'll win if the reputation reaches a certain amount there. And there's loads of factors that we can get into to have a look. But I quite like that. So click below. Each expedition starts only with a few essential blueprints. More will be given to you as you gain reputation points. And now pick the woodcutter's camp. Use space to resume. Cool. So I know the blueprints are... I'm not sure if they're 100% random, but you don't always get the blueprints that you'd expect. So you can't start off with stonemasons, farms, anything like that. You start off with some basics, and as you go, you get some options to try and work out how to survive, which is pretty cool. So build a woodcutter's camp and explore the forest. No problem, but we're going to start like we always do. Oh, hello. I'm going to pause this again. Let's have a look here. Winning and losing against a storm, you build not one but many settlements to successfully establish a town and therefore win a run. You need to collect enough reputation points to fill up the entire reputation bar, exactly like I said before the impatience reaches its maximum. If she loses her impatience, you fail. Cool. So we've got the ability to select, destroy, cut down wood, decorations, camps. We got our woodcutter's camp, roads. This is what I'm going to place down every single time, because that's just what you do. So we need to build a woodcutter's camp, which we'll place, let's have a look. We will place that just over here. So the woodcutter's camp itself doesn't really need to be anywhere in particular. Doesn't need to be connected to roads or anything like that, because you're going to be moving those around quite a bit. So let's have a look at our orders. Orders are essentially the tasks that you can pick for the entirety of the run, which is pretty cool. So we need to build 2 woodcutter's camps and gain 10 wood. Pretty straightforward. We'll pop another one, perhaps just there, and then we'll let those guys build out, which is pretty easy. We can do our priority systems. We can move it by there, which is nice and easy. And then one thing to know about all these different units that we've got here, you've got your humans, your beavers, and your lizards. So they all have they're all good at doing specialized stuff. So we've beavers, for example, are gifted woodworkers and enjoy engineering. So in here, we'd probably want to allocate some beavers. And you can see they're getting these cogs around them, which means they're actually really good at this. And if we were to assign humans, it wouldn't have that. So we are going to, first of all, we are going to mark where we want cutting. So this would be priority. So we're going to mark that to cut into these glades. And then we're just going to mark a few extra bits here. Too many trees marked. Okay. So if we wanted to, we could reduce this and, like, do that. Nice. So we'll speed this up a little bit. We have the ability to deliver this quest, which we'll do. And we'll get a group of beavers and we'll get reinforced axes, which is a positive perk that we'll gain. And a reputation point. Next up, it wants us to assign 5 beavers to the woodcutters and explore 2 glades. We can easily do that because what we can do over in this side is we can just assign the beavers there. And we can then cut through to the glade there. And if we wanted to, we could just reduce what they're cutting down to speed that up a bit. Perfect. So we'll do that now, and we have our reputation, which allows us to pick one of our buildings. In this case, it's only giving us a choice of 1, which we're going to place down just over here. Well, we'll place it all along the center here. 2 in there. 2 in there. So these houses can hold 3 people. And we've got a population of 12 at the moment. So that will be enough for us. They're all starting to cut down, which is perfect. So that's all of our houses almost ready to go. And these are just generic houses. So you can get specialized houses, which will give them a bit more happiness. And our happiness here is classed as resolve. Cool. We're going to cut into our first glade just over here. And we can see in this little glade there is a clay deposit. And there can be various things. Can I unselect you? How do I unselect you? There you go. Right click. Cool. So we needed to get 2 of the glades. So we'll do that a bit. Speed this up for a second. That's the next part of the tutorial. They're nearly there. They just got that little bit to cut down. That should be enough for them to fit in there. Perfect. And this is quite a large glade, so hopefully there's something decent in there. Nice. So in here we've got clay deposits, we got a flax field, which is pretty good, and a small abandoned cache. So here you can see that it's got requirements, which are things like simple tools or infused tools. And you can send workers in order to do it, and you can make a choice. You can either keep the goods or you can send it to the Citadel, which will get you a bit more reputation to fill up your bar. Awesome amber, which is basically their trading currency, which is pretty cool. But it hasn't asked us to do anything in particular, so we're going to deliver this quest, which will give us another group of humans and some meat and a reputation point. Next up, it wants us to make a forager's camp and get some vegetables. So that's what we can do next, because we'll probably have a forager's camp here, which we can build nice and close to this side over here. And then we'll assign a couple people there when we get a chance. And then let's place a couple more houses there. and then just a couple more paths. So over on the right hand, or left hand side, sorry, over here, you can see that we've got our population, our builders, and our homeless. So at the moment we got those 3 new humans, which didn't have a home, but now they're full, which is perfect. And we got a few workers that are free. Which in here, because they got a specialization bonus of farming. Yeah. Humans are the best for these, because we can see they're very adept at farming. And we'll get them to start doing that for us. Get our vegetables, and then that will finish up that section over there. And then once we've cut all those marked trees down, what these woodcutters camps are going to do is just start cutting everything that's in the area that you can see. So we're nearly done with these vegetables. As you can see, we got plenty of food at the moment. Pretty much everything's going up, which is positive. And now we can complete the food supplies order. We'll get another perk, which means +1 to vegetable production, gain an additional vegetables every yield from gathering, farming, or production. That's a very nice one. Now we can make a stonecutters camp, get some clay, and we'll get additional clay production, which is perfect because we'll get it from here. We already unlocked some of the clay over there, and then there's a large amount of clay here as well. So I'm going to place it down there. Now, I'm not sure what the specialization bonus would be for this one. There might not even be one, so let's have a look here. Humans and beavers, or lizards. So, no one in particular is very good at that. Perhaps there's another race that is. So we can have a look at that. Newcomers are waiting. So over on this side here, you can see that Pervin Runebeak, the Royal Stormwalker, is offering us 2 different sets of people. We got humans that are going to bring in some leather, stone, and vegetables. Or some beavers that are bringing in some grain. I'm just going to take the humans. Because we can use the food, and I've already built the house, so no one is having any issues there either. We're going to mark some of these houses, some of these trees to be chopped down to give us a bit more space, and we can deliver the stonecutters camp. Next up, we are going to have the harvesters camp. Exactly the same as what we've been doing recently. We're just going to pick up the harvesters camp, plop it over there, throw up a few people in there, and we can call it a day on that one. There we go. And we can always check if there's anyone that's good at this, which at the moment there isn't. Now, there are a couple things that can affect the Queen's impatience, the hostility that you can get from the forest that is all around here. It kind of alternates between a storm and a drizzle all the time. Storm is a bit more rough and ready, and which your people lose their happiness because it's a bit miserable. And then during drizzle, it's kind of like their seasons. They're a bit happier. So orders are ready to complete. Again, we'll get +1 to fiber production. And then here we're going to have a look and get a workstation. Crude workstation. Which we'll plop down here. Running out of workers a bit, so I am actually just going to pull... I'm going to just pull a couple people off these woodcutting ones. And pop them in here. And then what do we need to do? We needed to produce 4 planks, 4 bricks, and 4 fabric. So they are going to start producing. I believe this is the order. I'm not quite sure on that one. But we have a cornerstone now available. This is a reward offered by the queen herself, which is, from what it appears, is really good ones. As you can tell by the purple outline. So carpenter's tools, building materials are the very foundation of the settlement. Production is 50% quicker. That's pretty nice in the crude workstation. And the exploration contract, they want a detailed map of the region and will supply anyone willing to help. Gain 20 reed and 20 clay for every discovered glade. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to take this one because that's currently what we're working on at the moment. Are these different things. So they should be coming in and starting to work on planks hopefully soon. Yep, there you go. They're starting to work on 2 bricks there. These guys are working on fabric. And then I guess we can kind of babysit them if we want to. When one of them is done, all 4 of them, we can change that up a bit. And then we should be able to hand that in. There we go. So we'll now get 50% to the amount of goods produced in the crude workstation, with a reputation and some parts. And then the last thing we need to do is have a look at the dangerous glade and retrieve an ancient tablet, and they'll give us some amber. Perfect. So what's nice here is you've got production is 50% quicker. You produce 50% more in the crude workstation, so that's actually pretty impressive. And they do stack, so you can have 2 of these carpenter tools, for example, or 2 of these rich in fiber perks, which they do stack, which is quite nice. Go throw another one of you in. I'm going to move these guys just over there, which is an instant move. And I'm going to break into this dangerous glade. Do we want anyone else? Probably not, because we're just about to finish up. And then we can get particular houses here, which I'll just get a human house for now. Build one for the fun of it. And then they should cut in there pretty soon. They're not the quickest, but you do have... obviously, we've got some of these benefits here, and we can probably get rid of one of these, for example, replace it with a human, and replace this one with a beaver, just to make it that little bit quicker. And then we could always just accept a few additional people, because we have the housing space for it. Missing planks that will be produced. Let's monitor this a little bit so that we can open up this in quick succession. And here you go. Here's our dangerous glade, which contains an ancient shrine. So this is an ominous shrine from a long forgotten era. It's dangerous, but might hold some ancient knowledge useful to the crown. It's got a threat here. This is what happens when, while you're working on this, it's going to have a certain event. So disturbing the ruins of the great civilization can have grave consequences. It kills 3 random villagers every 39 seconds, or whatever the value would be there. But for us to actually complete this and get the reward, we need 10 simple tools, fabric, and planks. There are alternatives, so we could do wood, for example. We got plenty of that. We could do bricks, so I'll just leave it with fabric. Like in this particular case, we haven't got planks, and if it's killing our workers, we definitely want to stick with wood. And then let's get all the lizards working on this, and we'll investigate that straight away. You can see that is ticking down quite quickly. We're probably not going to do it because it takes 30 seconds and we haven't got all of the tools ready to go. So there you go. We've lost quite a few people. One of them was assigned to this. So we gotta be careful. There you go. It's every 5 minutes. So even opening this glade can sometimes have disastrous effects if you're not prepared for it. Perfect. And that's about to be done. Now they're taking the ancient tablet back there and deposit into storage for us. And then we can complete our orders, get our amber, and that is our settlement complete. At least the tutorial one is. So we've unlocked all of the various things that we've got from those orders. Extra storage, trading posts, farm fields. We got a few stockpiles, which is nice, food stockpiles, which can be used to upgrade the main or the smoldering city, which is pretty good. Now we can continue on to the next tutorial. There we go. Any key to start? So, villagers with low resolve will start leaving, increasing the queen's impatience. Keeping the resolve exceptionally high will grant passive reputation over time, which is this little blue bar there. If you can get the happiness over there, they'll start producing reputation. Yep, and then we need to deal with their needs in order to bump that up, which we can have a look at in just a second. So what we got over here, farmers can only plant on farm fields, and those can only be built on fertile soil, which are these little grass patches located on the screen in front of us. So crops are planted in the first season, which was the drizzle, and then harvest during the second, which is clearance. Perfect. So build a farm, harvest grain, serve some ale. Pretty straightforward. So, gonna do the same start that I always do. Build some roads. Build some roads. Let's have a look. These are all the different needs that we can fulfill. So you can see there that sometimes they just want houses, which is perfect. Specialized houses give you a bit more of a bonus, and then they're different food types. They particularly like to be clothed, but whereas the lizard folk don't, they'd rather just have like brawling rather than being in a tavern, and they'd like religion. So you can see there's a bit of overlap in some of the different races, which is perfect, because then you can work it out and basically try deal with the masses. So we've got a small farm that we can produce now. Pretty cool. I'm going to just place it there. I'll place it there. So you can obviously, the fertile soil needs to be within a certain area. I could do it there, actually. That might be a good shout. So we'll build a woodcutter's camp. Build a whole bunch of housing if we got it. We haven't got housing yet. So that's fine. We'll speed this up so we get a chance to actually deal with this. Prioritize that a bit. What are our orders? Build a small farm. Build 6 farm fields, and we'll get barrels and a group of humans. Easy enough. Can also start thinking about building some of these other ones as well. So we got stone cutters that we can build there. What were the other ones that we got? A scavenger's camp. Nothing that we can scavenge in particular. Harvester's camp. Can take some of those. There we go. We're going to put our beavers onto that, and we're going to mark these particular trees here. And we're going to speed up slightly on that one, because we really want to get those trees down. Over here with the stone cutters. Throw a couple humans in there for now. Was this enough to get the small farm in? It is indeed. So we'll prioritize that one. So here's our cornerstone. We can get 5 barrels per minute, or we can get 50% of the amount of goods produced in a small farm. So this is pretty good. But this is passive, and I don't know how to make barrels. I don't know what barrels are used for. So I don't think either of these is a bad shout, but I'll probably just take the... I'm going to take the barrels, because they want us to make ale. That was kind of the... Right in the beginning, they kind of told you what you were doing. So I'm going to take the 5 barrels per minute, which will work out for us. And then over here, we're going to put humans in place. So we'll get rid of you. We'll put a lizard folk in there instead. Whoopsie. Human. And then we're going to get some farm fields. And place them all on this greenery for them to build up. And then here we'll get... We're not going to get anyone involved in there because we really need these farm fields to be built up. We have not got a lot of workers at all. Which we could definitely do with some more, but we just haven't really got any yet. You can see they're working there with the covers from the rain. And we can complete our orders. Get 2 new humans and 25 barrels. Next up, it wants us to make 2 shelters, a woodcutter's camp, and then we'll get some additional people. Which, there we go, it's given us our shelter now, which is perfect. This woodcutter's camp I'm going to move over here, I think, because I want to be able to get a bit more space for actual houses. So I'm going to build 1 house over there, 2 houses over there, 3, 4. That'll be okay. We've got a few extra workers now, which is perfect. And then it wanted us to build another woodcutter's camp, which we can build. We'll build that just over there. And we'll mark these trees for cutting down over here. Now, one thing to note as well, if you don't want to cut into these glades, you can say cut only marked trees, or you can say avoid opening glades. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to throw a couple more people in there as well. Okay, we can complete this one as well. Get a couple extra beavers. And then we can build a trapper's camp for some extra meat. So that'll be somewhere over here. I am missing it. Oh, it's going to be a reputation unlock. There's the trapper's camp, which we'll place over there. Get that built up. And then we can throw in lizards there as well, because they're very good at harvesting meat. Which is nice. Some extra newcomers. I would not say no to 2 of these, because then we can at least start placing a few of them in like that. And then in here, we can have 2 of the lizard folk who are happy to do this as well. And then we just need some meat. Just need them to collect some meat. Perfect, so they're doing a very good job of everything. Move that up a bit so that we can build a couple more shelters. And then we'll build some paths as well. Oopsie. Just to make it look a little bit nicer. We can complete this as well. Gives us some building materials and the queens. So now we need a smokehouse to produce jerky. Cool. And that will give us more barrels. So I think they are valuable. And any builder can carry 5 more items at once. That's nice. So let's pick up our smokehouse, which is pretty large. We'll rotate that and place it down there while we've got the space. So I'd be curious to know if the lizards will actually be happy to work in the smokehouse as well. Or if it's just they like collecting the raw meat. It could be interesting to see. There you go, so let's have a look. We got 4 lizards. Where are they working? Get rid of you and we'll replace you with a human. They do like working here still. Okay. Where's the other one working is my question. Oh, he's working here. Okay, let's change that with a human. Oh no, they do like working here. Hang on. Prefer to walk in the worm. Oh, no. We'll change you with a human. Place this. And then we'll change the recipe, which I believe it said to meat. So we can either click all of these to say any type of food turn into jerky, or we can be particular and just say just use the meat. Which is pretty cool. Because they're already starting to make pottery and we really don't need that. So let's do that. Stop them from doing that. Nice. And we're getting plenty of all resources. Food's gone down slightly, but I think we'll get a bit more once we start harvesting some of our fields. Good. And then the Ancient's Hearth, it appears you can upgrade it for just, this is kind of like tiered structure, which allows you to get increased comfort or better resolve, I believe is the main one. And ways to reduce hostility, which you can see that we're getting hostility for the amount of villagers that we've got, for example. And there's plenty of ways that we can gain that. Cool. Our orders are now ready to complete, so we'll deliver that. And with these extra nets, we'll be a lot more efficient at collecting meat as well. Next up is a brewery. We want to get barrels in the ale recipe and then produce ale. Perfect. So we can do that. And we'll place that just down there. Might reduce the amount of woodcutters we got in these two, just so we've got a few additional people. Saying that, we've just got a few additional people. I'm going to take these because of the grain. If we're making ale, usually it's made with grain. So, this is a good one. Specialized grain farming techniques. Grain produced production is increased by +1 for every 25 times it's produced. So you're just getting better and better every time, or 50% of the amount of goods produced in the brewery, and that's kind of like a saving. I'm just going to do this one because it's just going to be a short tutorial, I think, rather than a long one. There we go. So I'm going to turn off pickled goods, pack of crops. It specifically wants us to do ales. So I'm going to produce that. And then we can see, there you go, here's the production priority. So if we wanted them to produce 2 ales, goods with equal priority, so we could do something like that, and it will always produce these first, I think it is. Which is pretty cool. And then we can place our limits, and we can lock them globally in case it's anywhere else that might want them. Why are you idling? You've got grain. You haven't got pottery, but we can change it to barrel. There we go. That's what we were meant to do. Perfect. I knew we were having barrels for a reason. And we actually have loads of barrels as well. So that is pretty promising. Producing 15 at a time. It's very nice. Haven't needed this one yet, which is pretty good. We've got to just create 20 ale, which we're pretty much there. And ding. Perfect. And we're getting more barrels, pack of mushroom, box of planks, and more reputation. So next up they want a tavern and satisfy the villagers' need for leisure, which we can do now. Build ourselves a tavern. Have we got the resources to build a tavern? We haven't got enough fiber. Cool. So now it's starting to get to that point where Trapper's Camp. Ah, you haven't got anything. Interesting. Maybe we want to start opening up some glades. Then we can say something like, only cut the marked trees. And then in this particular case, perhaps we want to do... what do we got? There you go. We got some slick-shell broodmothers, fertile soil. So we can actually move this trapper over there and deal with that one. We can then also get a crude workshop, wherever that may be. We can place that, rotate there. And while we're in here, and then perhaps we just focus on a bit of fabric for the moment in order to build this tavern. So I'm going to rotate, place it down there, build myself out a nice little path. There we go, and they should have enough resources coming in soon. So we still haven't got enough people to really run everything at full production. He says that as we get some additional ones. I'm gonna take this for the leather and the grain. That should nearly be done. We have 3 people that are homeless, which is not good at all, so we'll move that up there. We will build additional houses, additional shelter. Just like that. And then you may as well cut that. You, I don't mind what you do. That stonecutter's camp is now finished, so we'll get rid of that. You, we can enable for everything again. So I believe you've got enough. Maybe you haven't. You should do. There you go. Nice. And then here we can probably just perhaps mark that. And then they'll cut into that glade as well, hopefully giving us a few more resource deposits. There you go. We got some insects, fertile soil, and flax field. So if we run out of that one in particular, we can deal with that. What's nice in this tavern is if it has ale, it produces leisure. If we have training gear, which we haven't got, it gives you brawling, which I think is very good for these guys over here. Oops. Yeah, over here there's the lighter treatment, so I think we favor them, which just gives you enough resolve, but I think it reduces the resolve of everyone else. But what's nice here is there's Gleeman Tails, so if you have 3 people assigned to it, you'll get this bonus, which is +3 to global resolve, which actually boosts these guys over, which is nice. Humans are getting there, so we're in a good spot. Now we just need 20 leisure. So we can speed this up a little bit while we're having a look. They'll cut into that glade over there. I'm going to move them just a little bit so that they can cut down these other trees as well. And there you go. That one's now complete. We'll get additional beavers, simple tools, and a lot of barrels. Next up, keep humans resolve above 25 for 30 seconds. We've already done that because they're all happy. Get additional grain production, get some reeds, and the Queen's Grace. Perfect. Now we just need to produce 10 packs of provisions, which we can do that. Let's have a look here. We can get specialized housing. Beavers we have the most, so we may as well pick up those. And then we can get a makeshift post, which allows us to make the pack of provisions, which hopefully we can just rotate and pop over there. We got 2 beavers which are homeless, which we can just pop there. They require planks. Have we not got enough planks at the moment? Building materials. We do not. So I'm going to assign a couple working here, and then we're going to get packs of provisions built. Not too worried what we use, as long as we can make them, is my main thought. Especially considering they are collecting quite a few things. Got some newcomers as well. Oh, we got a cornerstone. Gain 30 meat every time a villager leaves or dies. That's one way to deal with your population. Or a, I guess, epic version of the nets. We get +2 to meat production. So yeah, I'll definitely take that, because now we got +3 to meat production, which is really nice. We're going to get an incredible amount of food. So the only downside is these beavers don't actually use, they don't have meat in their diets, which is unfortunate. There you go. We are passively gaining reputation quite well now. I'm going to unfavor those, but I thought that was pretty cool. And then we got newcomers, which, let's get these guys. And then we'll have to build another shelter somewhere. Can move this out of the way. We'll build that there just for the moment. And we've nearly produced enough provisions. There we go. So we've also leveled up, which has given us some new upgrades and quite a few new buildings. Rain collector, we can do paved roads now, herbalist camp, similar to all of our other camps, just gather things. Meat specialization, that's a good cornerstone. It can be increased by 1. An artifact infused with the power of the holy flame. Hostility from woodcutters is decreased. Okay, interesting. And crowded homes. All houses can have 1 more place. That's pretty good. That's a cornerstone as well. Nice. Then we'll continue with this and hopefully we can get to the main screen. The world is a vast, ever-changing place, and at its heart lies the smoldering city. Your goal as the Viceroy is to help rebuild it and secure the future of the Queen's subjects. Use the resource you've gathered so far to construct the Obsidian Archive in the Smoldering City. Yep, let's click on the Smoldering City. Buy some upgrades. And let's have a look here. So the Obsidian Archive level 1. You gain a permanent minus 2% to the speed at which her impatience grows. And unlocks deeds. And we'll click on that. We still have 10 food. So we could get either one of this. So you gain 10% more Citadel resources whenever you finish the settlement. That seems like a good early game one. You gain a new embark bonus to choose from when you're starting a settlement. Stone, clay. You gain a permanent +2 duration for all fuel types. I'm just going to take this one because that seems pretty good. And then we've unlocked deeds, which are basically like achievements, which can give you more experience points. So there we go. And with that, guys, I hope you did enjoy it. If you want to see some more of this, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.